Welcome to Radical Leadership, and we are having a very intriguing and interesting conversation today about saving and understanding banking system. You've heard this in a couple of varieties that financial advisors tell you not to invest, not to put your money in the bank. And yes, there are some people who this information is true to them, and there are some which this information is not true to them. So we want to understand who should put their money in the bank, who should not, and why. And most importantly, if you were to, then how can you do better? Because there are some alternatives that you can opt for. And again, it's also very important to understand that you can't evade this. With my co-host, Efe Juma, we want to elaborate this further. Efe Juma,
yes,
welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Yes, today we are having a very interesting conversation here.
Yes.
You're good?
I'm well.
Yes, so take our guests, our visitors or our viewers through this.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I want us to be a bit free. And I also request our audience to really pay attention to this, because this is one of the areas where people get misled.
Yes.
And that information is not outside there.
Definitely.
Yes. So I think this particular session will be able to at least enlighten some of us, so that we can know, so that when you are doing something, while you have the information, then it's a bit safer than acting out of information. Good. So one important thing that I want to mention is that banking, like just mentioned here,
understanding.
If we say understanding monetary system. When you hear the word monetary system, we are actually talking about banks.
Banks.
Yes. When we talk about monetary system, we are talking about banks.
If I understand this better, please correct me if I'm not. Is it true that we can run away from the banking system?
No, you cannot run away from the banking system.
It is there to stay for now.
Okay, it's a system that is part of the economy. You see, banking system is part of the economy. There is no way you can escape banking system, because there is somebody once said that there is a certain level of income or your net worth. There's a certain level when you reach, then even the president will know that you exist.
Yes.
Do you know why? Because of this monetary system or banking system. Okay? So banking system is whereby the people who are going through the system, of course there are people who are not in that system.
Yes.
Okay? But let's go with the average people who are that are.
And a good number are.
The people who are subscribing to the. If you're not going through the system, then of course you are not obeying the laws of that particular country. Like you are being unconstitutional. Because you are supposed to go through the monetary system, so that you help even those people who are taking statistics on how the economy is growing and something like that. It's
a very vital information for the country.
Yes, it's very important. So they use that data to get information on how economy is maybe thriving.
Growth.
Yes, the growth and maybe the positive.
Even the lending rate can tell.
Yes, the positive and the negative aspect of the economy you can tell using this data. But of course, you know about, you've heard of something called anti-money laundering. You've heard of AML, anti-money laundering. So you cannot, they cannot fight money laundering if they don't use this system.
If they don't have the
if that money is not passing through the banking system, it's very difficult for them to really catch up with these people who are engaging.
Are you trying to say this is why you find that some of the countries change their the feel and texture of their currency so that they can trap the people who are not using the
You see, when you talk about money laundering, it's not just about printing of fake paper, fake notes. It's a big thing. Money laundering actually is getting that money in illegal way. It's not necessarily printing the fake notes. That is part of it.
Okay. I've found you along the streets. I've choked you and I've killed you.
Yes.
I've stolen your money.
Yes.
Have I participated in money laundering?
So
Because it's illegal.
you see, most of these money laundering acts, they lead to, they tamper with the system. Like they lead into creating a lot of money. For example, if you are engaged in drug, we call it drug trafficking. That is that is money laundering act. Okay. If you are engaged in drug trafficking, you know how that. I'm not involved, but from the information I'm getting, those drugs, those hard drugs, the illegal drugs, they are very expensive. So you see, you can make a lot of money from such activities. So those are money that are derived from such activities. We call them the dirty money.
If I just cut it short.
Yes.
So are you trying to mean those who are participating in money laundering must be the big fish, the guys who pump huge money into the system?
Yes.
While if I'm just a thief, then I steal stuff.
Okay. I know I don't want to go deep into that because maybe I might not be able to defend something. But what I know, the information I have is that even the people who are dealing in those dirty money, there is also a group of people. So that there is even ranks from top to.
Yeah, they say that there's no activity that you can do alone.
Yes, so they are also big fish.
Okay, they also have their own system.
So what they are trying, they usually try to avoid this system because they can get trapped. And of course, also you printing money legally also.
Yeah.
You see, printing money legally also, you see, that one can also.
The monetary system is very critical because I hear, or it's not even just a hear, it's a constitutional stuff that if you have to deposit or if you are to receive a particular amount of money past a particular limit, then you have to explain where that money comes from or how you
yes,
acquire.
In fact, in the context of Kenya, there is a limit, and limit is, for example, currently, if 2 million,
yeah,
2 million or 15,000 US dollars. So if anytime you are injecting or you're investing money or you are putting that money into a bank
or you're transferring more than
that amount, you really need to show the proof, the source of the funds. But this is sometimes I say that you see, people who are creating sometimes people create system for other people.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes people create system for other people, but let's not get into that. I want to talk of a normal person who is using this system. So they need to understand. The other ones, those are just by the way.
And I want you to tie this particularly with investment.
Yes.
I want us to understand the system.
Yes.
The monetary system.
Yes.
In line with the investment.
Yes.
And if it's appropriate, if it's not. And yes, just a normal person who is trying to grow his net worth or his lifestyle, or let me just say assets.
Now, first of all, like I said, you cannot escape banking system.
Good. Because if you're employed, you'll have to use the banking system to receive your salary.
Yes.
If you're doing business, other businesses will pay you via the banking system.
Actually, one of the roles of a bank is to enable transaction. Okay?
Yes.
To enable transaction. And they do what? Payment and settlement as part of banking system. So you find that even when you are seeking for your employment, the first thing you are told to do is to go and process your bank account. You need to have a bank account. You need to also have tax compliant, which means you have to have tax registration within your jurisdiction. Yes, and you need to have national ID. Those are the things that you need to have a bank account. You understand?
Yeah.
So the main reason is anytime banking system is one of the essential system in economy.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned before, usually all the money in the circulation is usually being tracked using the banking system. Because money, they flow. Okay.
So as you are saying, as the regulatory bodies use that as well to gauge their budgeting for the next financial years because they can track and
Yes,
get their
they can
revenue.
just use that information to even gauge the sectors that performed well. Maybe they can also track some of the fund from abroad. Okay, the receipts,
The
and
loans that they've
expenditure,
taken.
and something like that. So when that passes through this, then I've said that there are anomalies. There are people who are not working off this system because they know very well that when they get through this system, they will
Questions will be raised.
not to question. The DCI will visit them, or yes,
They are okay. The investigative
or
bodies.
EACC, those that deal anti-corruption commission, ethics and anti-corruption commission. For the context of Kenya, you will have to get those officers to take you so that you can
Elaborate.
you be investigated
Yes, yes.
on such matters. So some of them usually avoid using this. And by the way, like I didn't want to mention, but let me mention this. You can find that there are some of when you will be in political. Are you aspiring to be a politician soon?
Yeah.
So when you will be in politics, you will understand a lot when it comes to these things. Sometimes this money that politicians use, they don't go through the system.
Yeah.
They are off that system.
Sure.
So that
I've
to
heard
raise to avoid evidence and all such things. Now, the people who want to talk about here, or the people who want to
I like
help
interjecting
understand.
you. Is that also the reason as to why some people prefer cash payment than the mobile or banking transactions, so that they can run away from the
Yes,
system?
but ideally, me, if I'm asked, I usually say that anytime you avoid such things, then it means you are corrupt in a way. It's a corruption.
Okay.
It's not some.
No.
Anytime you're avoiding that same center.
But cash is also a means of payment.
It is a means of payment.
Yes.
But when you are just strict that I don't want payment, deliberately avoiding this system.
Maybe I don't want the charges.
You don't want.
I don't want to undergo the charges.
The charges. Okay. You see, I'm not sure if there is those people that they're just holding cash somewhere apart from the if you find somebody who's holding maybe $1 billion of money off the system, then it means that that money is still questionable.
Yes,
that's why they don't want to take it through the system.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
So there is one important point I've mentioned. I've told you that anti-money laundering or money laundering is not necessarily printing fake notes.
Yes.
It's when you acquire that money illegally. Okay, so anytime you are doing something that it's illegal to acquire money, that's a fake. That money is a dirty.
Yes.
So those dirty money
affect the
system. So that's why the agency, anti-money laundering agency, they try to. That anti-money is not actually agency, but it's an act. Okay, it's an act that is ensured to safeguard the system. Now, getting into this. There are two people who can use this system and benefit, and those people, when they use this system, they get sacrificed. So that's why before you use anything, you need to have information about that particular system.
So there are people who, when they use this system, they'll benefit.
Yes.
And there are people who, when they use this system, they are making losses.
Yes.
Which are these people? Now,
we have two categories of people in the economy. We have high net worth individuals and we have low net worth individuals. So any economy, so the threshold may differ from one country to another country. But in the context of Kenya, high net worths, we can consider you high net worth if maybe you are holding something like 10 million and above. Okay?
So I'm a high net worth guy.
I don't know, that's now personal.
No.
That's personal.
Okay.
And low net worth are now people who are having that one and below. Yes. So the people who are high net worth, they can use the system well because the system knows them.
Please tell me how they can benefit from the system.
You see, when you are high net worth, it means that you are that person who you will be able to negotiate deals. Okay, the system already knows you. You are being acknowledged as somebody who is somewhere
high value.
Yes, you are in a certain group. You've distinguished yourself. okay, you've crossed a certain line. So those people, even how they are being treated at the banking hall is very different.
Yes.
They are being given priority. When they get there, they get received well. Some of them are not even being served where people are served.
Yeah.
They visit, they see the manager.
Let me give you a story. I've implemented a project in a particular bank where you see the entrance of a banking hall is divided into, okay, there's a single entrance and then the path deviates by just the entrance. So there are people who bank on the left side and there are some who bank on the right hand side. So I happened that this period of time I was being served on the right hand side. The common people, when they come, they get served on the left. So when I entered this right side of the hall, that place was poshy. The kind of seats that are there, very fine. They're treated well. There's tea there that you can just come in and go serve yourself. Like things are just cool. But on the other side, you could find that there are these, I don't know how to call them. These seats that, the waiting seats that people sit when they're waiting for a service. Normally in these common offices. You get, like any other bank, definitely they might have faced that. Then I came to realize when I started digging deep why that is happening. That's when I realized that there is high net worth people and how they're being treated versus how the common people are being treated. I really wished that I could maintain that status there.
Now, you see, you understand that if I say you need to understand how bank system work, what I mean is, you see, banks accept deposits. Then, after accepting deposits, they use the deposits to lend. You understand? So, if you're high net worth, then it means that you are the people who are making that bank to continue being in operation.
Because so you're bringing huge.
In fact, you are the employers there. You are the one employing those employees who are there. So when you come in, it means you come in as the employer. Anytime your employer want to withdraw money, it means this bank will go down. It means this bank will not work as it is expected. So this give high net worth negotiation power. So when they come, they get treated well. And you know how human beings like being praised. They like being given attention. So when they get the best customer service, then they feel like now they can sacrifice.
They feel that that's the community they need to belong.
They feel that I need to sacrifice to these people who are giving me due respect. You understand? These people who are treating me, they are making me feel at home. You understand?
They make you feel valued.
So with them, the system is not working against them because they understand the system. Then they know they are the one making that particular bank to be in operation. You understand? And under high net worth, we also have categories because if you are high net worth, there is somebody who is also you are high net worth.
Yes.
So that ranks. It proceeds like that. So the more you have, the more you get attention. So there are people when they come to a banking hall, then they being rushed to go and greet manager and have tea and talk. So I know majority of these low net worth individuals, you've never even interacted with the bank managers. You just work with the tellers. You just go there and and in fact you wait for the teller, you wait for the number for your queue to read. Teller B what?
To teller 2 and
yes. You in fact you are being controlled by robot. It's just robot that is telling you now go. So that is not that attention.
Yes.
And there are some of us are usually getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Because if you are not there by that time, you will have to again take another ticket and wait for long in that banking.
It is so sad that I'm yet to get into a bank that has a toilet for its customers. I've never seen a bank.
No, I think it's for security reasons.
Why?
It's for security reasons.
How?
That toilet can be a room. Because when you get there, of course you can't put a CCTV inside the toilet. So what you can do there, you can start even digging hole there to do there, and you can just plant things. You can do so crazy
So
things.
this is why
inside
they
there.
don't have toilets.
That's why they don't have
for the customers.
Yes, they can't have that for safety reasons. They cannot have
Please,
that. That's a
if
threat.
you know why banks do not have toilets for their customers, please let me know. I'm here to understand that.
But ideally, it is for security reasons. Yes.
Okay.
Because can you be comfortable if you have a CCTV
No.
taking you when you are there helping yourself?
Definitely no.
It's not possible. So that's why they avoid that risk. So the only
But you can monitor me when I'm getting in at the entrance.
no, what you will be doing inside there, human beings are tricky. So that's why
Very cheeky.
And you see, when you get inside, you will lock yourself inside.
Yes, definitely.
You understand? Yeah. So that's why they are trying not there, because if you want to know that, even when you get into the ATM, you will always see even inside there the CCTV cameras.
Yes.
So in a banking hall, the CCTV camera capturing all the floors. You understand? So it means that if you have a washroom inside there for customers, you cannot install CCTV inside there.
Yes.
So definitely I've answered the question. So it means it's just for security reasons.
It might be. Likely.
Okay.
Chances are.
Now, that was a by the way. So the point I was trying to say is, for the high net worth, you might find that like currently interest rate is really going down.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Yeah.
So and I know you will find that if lending rates can be saving rates for these banks, you will find that currently they can go at around 7.
Yeah, majority do run at 7.
Let's say 4 to 7. 4 to 7%.
Some do go to 8.
You see, I'm talking about currently.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about currently. Okay. Yes, I'm talking. You see now currently in the context of in the Kenyan economy, you see the inflation has been managed. Okay, it has been managed. Currently, it is at 3.3. 3.3.
Yes.
So it has been managed. So you see, when the inflation is managed, this interest rate usually tend to be low.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you are low net worth, you will go with market rate.
The 7.
The 7. If it is 7, in fact, if I say 4 to 7, here you're also competing. You understand?
You can go with the 4. There's a low net worth guy who goes with the 4.
Yes, there's a low net worth guy who goes with the 4, and there's a low net worth guy who will go with at least 7. So again, it depends with how much are you having. Do you understand? So they can just say maybe from, if you're saving from 10,000 or from let's say 500
to this particular amount
to 50,000 is 4%. Then from let's say 510 to maybe 100,000,
this particular
rate. You understand?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that low net worth individuals, they usually going with the market rate. When you come to high net worth individual,
they negotiate.
They are given a room to negotiate, and also it depends. It will also depends on how many high net worths are we having at that particular time. When you come in, for example, when you're high net worth and you come to a bank, you want to withdraw some of your money, or let's say, for example, you put your money in a fixed deposit account as a high net worth, then it has matured. So when it has matured, then you're supposed to either choose to withdraw, go use that money elsewhere, or roll over to another term. You understand? So when these people, their fixed deposit period has matured, they usually being booked an appointment even before that period,
so they can be sweet talked.
Yes, so that they can discuss. There is an opportunity here. So we are requesting you, if you can just lock this amount for this particular period. You see, now we have said 7%. They can even be enticed by 20%.
Wow.
Yes.
Then by the time you want to withdraw, maybe they push it to maybe 2.
Yes, maybe whatever you are given, by the time this expiring, maybe you agreed at 17%.
Yeah, good.
So when you come, when it has matured, they push it to
20.
Why are they pushing this thing to 20?
Because
you hold a lot of money in this, and this is the money that they're using to make business.
Because when they lend, they make money from the interest.
So they take. That's why it must, and that's why we say that they usually a penalty when you try to redeem. When you try to redeem, you redeem amount from a fixed deposit before the maturity of the fixed deposit. The reason why they penalize you is because this money is not sitting in the bank.
It is being used somewhere.
It is being used. It has been
invested somewhere.
Not really reinvested. Yes, it's an investment. Yes, but they lend this money to the people on the businesses that they want to utilize. Put this one into a viable opportunities. You understand?
Yes.
So it means that once, assume I'm a bank, and we agreed that you loan this money, I'm holding it for 2 years. Then after 1 year, you are coming to me that you see, I have an emergency, so I want to redeem. So at that time, you will convenience bank. So that's why they penalize you.
So that
because you find that already that money is not with them. The money was already
with the business
lent to someone else. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's how this system is working. So my first advice, if you are a low net worth individual, let a bank be what we call, let a bank just facilitate you through settlement and payment. You understand? So if you are employed,
let the bank help you receive your salary.
Once you've received your salary, your money should not rest there. Okay? So people will ask, where should I take my money after that?
And now that's why we have to discuss this.
That's why we have to discuss this. But this actually, I was just talking about the system itself. But I want to tell them, I wanted to tell them before I tell them where they should put this money.
Yes.
Now, the reason why, you see, when banks were getting initiated, or when they were doing campaigns, because anything that you want to do, even now, Radical Leadership and all these brands that we are having, for them to be trusted outside, you have to campaign for it.
Yes.
So banks really did
good advertisement.
The campaigns. They did campaigns. Okay? And one of the attributes that you are using is safety and security.
Your money is safe with us.
Your money is safe with us. Once you put your money with us, just rest. It's okay. So this thing got into people. Imagine some years back, people were not trusting banks.
Yeah.
They could choose to put their money under the mattress. Some also made some safe box. Holes.
Even dig holes.
Yes. And they just put their money inside there, and that's all. Until banks
managed
to convince them that we are the safest point. We're the safest place that you can entrust your fund.
We have CCTVs, we have security guards, we have...
Yes. So most of us are really leaving their money in the banks because of safety. The notion of safety and security. Now, I want to explain why it is not safe. And it is not secure as they think it is.
Yes.
You understand?
Good.
Now, your money can be there. Okay? And most of them, they're not even locking this money because they put this money into current account. And that system is usually penalize you when you leave your money in current account. Why? Because current account, the money in the current account, we call them demand deposits. So demand deposit means that these are money that you can want to access in any time. So they cannot, there's certain level that they cannot go below when with regard to demand deposits, because clients can come anytime. And imagine you go to a bank and you're told that you cannot process that payment now, you don't have money.
People will
that one can really interfere with the trust.
Yes.
So they ensure that the money that are on the demand deposit are always available for you. Okay? Even if they use this money, but they ensure there there is a certain limit
that they can't
they
surpass.
cannot go below, because to take care of daily transaction, withdrawal transactions. And that's why now you people from tech, you help us. You give us the data so that we know that every day what is the total volume that people can withdraw in a day. So we ensure that the total volume that people can demand in a day, we don't go below that. You understand? So that's how this usually happen. But again, if it happens that that happens, then you can be told to wait, then they borrow somewhere else, they bring money in so that you're being paid. But
so it's not safety, it's not safe or secure.
The reason why I wanted to say this safety is not even ideally based on the amount inside there. The reason why I say it's not safety is because of inflation risk.
Inflation risks.
Inflation risk and bank charges.
Okay.
So
please tell us, what are inflation risks?
Yes, I will explain.
Okay.
For example, last year, 2023, better part of 2023, inflation was at around...
There's a time we went to 6, right?
Even 9.
9?
Yes, it reached 9. In fact, better part of... Can you look at the inflation? You can just... So ensure that we give accurate data, but I'm sure about this. What was the inflation in Kenya in 2023?
I'm sure it was around, if not 6,
it is 8. 9. Just look for it. It was not 6.
Just check. Just a moment.
Yes, so that's what inflation risk. When you leave your money in current account, you are going to suffer inflation rate risks and bank charges and fees.
Inflation rate in Kenya
2023. And there?
Kenya inflation rate. Inflation rate. Yeah. In 2023 it was 7.6.
7.6. Which month? Which month is that?
This is they've given me an average of the year 2023.
No, can you just choose a month?
Okay, in August 2023 it was 6.7. Yeah.
No, there's a point where it was okay, look, just do this, query this way. Which year was inflation in Kenya? It was 9%. Yeah. You're there? What are you getting?
No, I got it right here. That no, it was 9. It was 8.58.
Which?
From this, they didn't mention that. It's missing the 9.
So okay, what are you?
8.58.
Which month?
223.
2023.
No month. They've just said in 2023 8.58. In 2008 it was 30. Wow, this was serious.
Now
we can work with an average of, let's say,
there is a point I want to prove. Let me just do something here. Yeah, let me just do something here. But of course, even you could have used this one. You could have gotten these rates. Go to CBK websites and look at the inflation rates that they've been posting. Yes. So of course, I have last year I can see these rates here. Yes. So you see, 2023 July, 2023 July inflation was 8.68.
July.
Yes.
That was
8.68.
68.
2023 in the month of 2023 July. Then August it was 8.52. Then September it was 8.32. Then October it was 8.1. You understand? So if you look at these figures,
July it was the highest, 8.68.
So this is what we call inflation risk. So assume that your bank was giving you an
You are a low net worth person.
let's not even get into that. We say that there is no that safety at all. You understand?
Yep.
There is no safety at all. I mean, I was saying that it's money in the current account is not as secured as people think that money is secured. Okay, because of inflation risk and bank charges. When you leave your money in the current account,
yes,
there is charges, bank charges that are applicable. You understand that we have what we call CBS, core banking systems.
Yes.
That they vend from fintech companies.
Yes.
To ensure that they give that safety that they are promising these people that the money is safe.
That you can withdraw it anytime you want, wherever you want.
To bring that convenience for customers to always access the money when they want it and also deposit when they want.
Yeah.
So these systems they outsource them. So when they outsource them, they have to pay for them. You understand?
And they'll throw this cost to you.
Yes, they throw this cost to you as a banking charges. Now we have banking charges. And also you have inflation or risk. Now, banking charges are real. I can say that these are real charges. These are real charges. Okay, but inflation is inflation is, when you say that inflation is hitting into your money, it is not directly attributed to that money that we deduct some amount for to inflation. But when you talk about banking charges, then they have to deduct that amount.
Yeah, the banking
so
charges.
So it is a real transaction.
If it is maybe 5, whatever, let's say 5 shillings.
Let's say 5% if they're using a rate.
Yeah.
Let's say even maybe 1%.
Majority do use the rate, by the way.
Yes.
So maybe
let's say 1% of what you are holding there. So 1% of what you are holding there. So you see that's about already you have a charges there.
So then you're losing from what you have.
You are losing from what. In fact, I have 3 items. Please, viewers, this is why I have to let you know this. We have 3 items. 1, we have charges, banking charges. Then that is 1. 2, we have
inflation risk.
Banking fees.
Banking fees. What's the difference between the charges and the fees?
Banking fees. So fees, for example, when you want to withdraw this money, see, you will be charged.
The transaction fees.
Yes, those are some of the banking fees. So those fees plus, the charges, bank maintenance. Let me just say bank maintenance charges and transaction fees. Those are going to eat in your current account. You will not escape, be it you like it or you don't like it. So that way it's not safe there. Number 3 is inflation.
Now inflation is where now the purchasing power of your money goes down.
Yes, the purchasing power of money is going down. You understand? So I think we discussed that one in the previous episode.
Yes.
So we say that inflation is stealing from you, such that the number of commodities that you are going to buy with this amount is reducing as time goes by.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do watch our episode on the inflation. It's just immediate here. It's a very interesting one, by the way.
I know they will find that one. No problem of you see, information is a resource. So if they know that information is a resource, they will always find check out that one. Now, what I'm saying is, we have these three things. So this is why we say that current account is, or the money that are sitting in the current account is losing, because the more the money stay in the current account, the more the banks are benefiting through the banking charges that they deduct, and also the inflation is also eating into this, because the purchasing power of that particular money is going down. So, and we said very well, for you to ensure that you retain or even add the purchasing power of that particular money, then you need to put that money into an investment or into account that is going to yield an interest or return that will beat the inflation.
So if we use an example of the inflation rate of 8.68,
yes,
then it means when you're putting this money into an investment or a scheme that returns revenue,
yes,
it should be maybe 9 and above.
Yes, so
that you beat the inflation.
These things are very important. People need to get informed about this. That's why at this time, when the inflation was at 8.68, you find that most of other financial institutions that were offering the investment services, they ensured that they were offering interest rate that were above this inflation rate.
That's the likes of money market fund and
yes, the likes of money market fund, some circles, but I will explain that. So what I'm just trying to say that always don't deem current account or leaving your money in the bank that safe,
especially in the current account.
It is not safe. And I'm explaining this for people who are not astute investors. Astute investors know this. They will never leave their money in the current account. They know that. So people who are suffering are just the people who are they are not that well educated on the financial matters. So when you get your money, when you get paid, you just leave your money there. There are people who don't even look at their bank statements.
Yes.
They don't look at it at all. They do, and even if they just say, I received a bank statement, these banks are doing well, they're sending us our statements. But they don't do nothing actually on that. Sure. They don't go through the banking the statement so that they can read what are the charges that the bank deducted this particular month, something like that. Because when you do that, actually, for those people who are not doing this, please just go and study your bank statements that you received last month going backwards. You will be able to see those charges there, and you'll be able to know that indeed leaving money in the current account, you are actually losing to the system. So when you are informed, then you will not be losing to the system, but you either give to the system and also gain from the same system.
Yes.
So net transaction should be positive. I've explained the notion of safety and security of money when in the bank system. So I believe they have understood that.
Yes.
Next,
we have
low net worth. Some of them choose to say that, okay, now I have, you see, even under low net worth and less informed people, they're having some information. Some are, you see, I know. Current account is not giving interest.
So let's try fixed.
They go to the banking and say, I want that one that is giving me interest. Then they're being told, okay, we have some services or products. So we have, every bank usually have their names. So they tell you that we have this particular product that is going to give you some interest. Okay. So they're being told, you will be giving even 3.3% per annum. Okay. When you lock this particular money for this particular period. I say, I'm going to earn interest. Yes, but you will not access this money until this period expires. Say, that is, at least that is better. So this person goes home saying that, you see, I've invested.
And this 3 point is fixed. That means for that period of time, that will be the rate.
Yes.
Regardless of whether inflation have increased, that will still be the rate.
That's why we call this one.
Because if you used these, for let's assume as of now the inflation rate is, we've said it's 3.3, right?
Yes.
And then you find a bank that gives you an interest rate of maybe 7. Let me assume 7, right?
7 is tricky currently.
Okay.
Unless you're talking about money market products. or fixed income fund.
Let me assume 6 then, or 5. Let me use 5.
I'm comfortable if you're using 4.
Okay.
Yes, use 4%.
Let me use 4.
Yes.
We're in 2020, 5, right? You've placed your money into a fixed saving account that goes for maybe 4 years, right?
Just say 1 year. They can't put that money for 4 years.
Okay, let me say 1 year.
You just put 1 year, yes.
1 or 2.
Or even 2
Let
years.
me use 2.
Okay.
Let me use 2. Now, within this period, the inflation rate shoots.
Yes. Sometimes it's come up.
From 3, and then it goes back to the trend that it was as of the time, which is maybe, let me give it 6 instead of 3. It has tried not 8, but at least it's 6 point maybe 2. Now, as of this time, this money that you've placed in your fixed asset account is earning you an interest rate of 3.3, or I mean 4, right? But the inflation rate is already 6. That means this money is actually not invested.
Yes, it is not,
because it's losing value as time counts.
Actually, me, if you ask me as a professional, this is not what you call investment. This is not an investment. Okay, but to them, I was just saying, to give a scenario. With them, they are not exposed to this information. Yes. So with them, they will deem that I've invested.
At least I'm getting a return.
I saved some money there.
The funny thing is, the bank will give you a statement showing that indeed you've earned an interest.
Yes.
Not knowing that what interest and what is the inflation rate currently.
Yes.
And some people don't do that statistic.
Okay, there's what I said. I think I should repeat it. You see, we have cash. We have cash transaction.
You're forgetting something?
I'm not forgetting. I just want to see an way I can put it. You see, when you talk about inflation, inflation is like is a non-cash transaction. You understand? If I say it's a non-cash transaction, it means those people will not deduct any money there. So when you were talking about the system will only show what they deducted. They actually did that actual transaction. You understand? Inflation is just a system-wise, but it is a non-cash. It's not actual transaction.
So you will not even see.
So when you see the bank statement, they won't show you the inflation. They will just show you that we deducted what? The transaction cost. You understand? Or the banking charges. They will not show you that inflation also deducted this amount from your money. So you will never understand that. Okay? You will never realize that you are losing some money into inflation. Okay? So unless you have some information about inflation and you know that inflation is stealing from you, then under the rates, I want to help our people. When you want to save, or maybe you reach a level where you want to save, the things you're supposed to ask yourself, we have 2 types of rates. We have fixed rate and we have floating rates. So floating rates, at least they usually adjust depending on the economic situation.
Yes.
So when the inflation goes high, they also adjust higher. They also try to adjust the interest rate that they pay on that particular what. They review the interest rate that they are going to calculate the actual interest that you're earning. You understand? But when you go with the fixed interest rate, it means regardless of what is happening in the economy, they are not going to adjust the rate.
They won't review it.
Yeah, they won't review it. So anytime you're making a decision, ensure that you try to even ask, is this rate a floating rate or a fixed rate? You understand? So those are very important. Now, for fixed rate, you're going to encounter this risk. If you say inflation risk, when you say risk, what do we mean when we say risk? Uncertainty. When you say risk, it is uncertain. We don't know your fate.
It can happen.
It can happen or it cannot happen. You understand? So that's why we say the degree of risk, the degree of that happening. By the way, sometimes I'll start showing these people how to come up with those analyses so that you can come up with the base case, worst case, and what? Best case, base case, and worst case.
Please do.
So you come up with those ratios and it can help you in making some decisions. Now, what I'm saying is, we say that it is inflation risk because when the interest rate you are earning is fixed, when it happens that, like I've shown you that how those rates,
the
the
rates
inflation rates were
Yeah.
changing monthly
It
on
was,
a monthly basis.
Yeah, 8.68. We had 8
Even
point
if you
something.
leave, even if, when we go back to just last year, that is 2024 December, inflation was at 2020 at
2.9. Was it?
It
No.
started with 2.
It was 2.7.
2.7.
Yes, it was
Then
2.7.
in the month of
January.
in the-
month of January, it went
no,
to 3.
start with November. November
No.
it was 2.7.
November it was 2.7.
Then in the month of December it
It
was
went to 3.
3.0.
Yes.
Then in the month of
January,
January it was
went to 3.3.
3.3.
Yes.
So now we don't know. We are still waiting for statistics from the Kenya Bureau of
Chances
Statistics.
are it can go to 3.6 because I'm seeing a uniform trend
Yes.
here.
So
Or it can go back to 3.0.
or it can retain.
Or it can retain.
Yeah, so those are the chances. So you understand. So that's what we call inflation risk. Anytime this alteration takes place, and the inflation, I mean the interest rate remain fixed, then you stand a chance of losing money to the
Inflation.
So that's what we call inflation risk. Inflation risk here. Now another thing, I've explained this interest income,
earning, yeah.
interest earning
Yeah,
or
this
interest
one
income.
we've covered.
I've explained that this is some of the reasons why some of the average people, they tend to trust bank. They say, of course I'll
Already
get interest. I'll get
investing.
interest. Okay. So for people who are at least deeming themselves to be informed a little bit, they don't leave their money in current account, but they put their money in what?
Fixed.
Fixed income.
Yes.
In the fixed deposits. We call them FDs. Then
Convenience and access.
convenience and access.
Now you've transitioned from current, now you're in the fixed.
Now, before I go to this convenience and access, I want to tell our people. I said that I promised that I have to tell them where they should put this money. Okay. You see, we have what we call money managers or collective investment schemes. Okay. I usually say that that is one of the best way you can. Those are the best institutions that you can save your money with. Okay, if you are that person who is saving or you are pulling capital to use that capital and do something in the future, then I would not prefer, because of course you will be a low net worth when you are pulling the resources. So I would not advise such a person to do this through a bank. Don't save in a bank. Okay, look for a good CIS, collective investment scheme, that will give you a competitive return. And the reason why I'm not like I'm promoting the CIS, but I'm just like giving them information on what they're supposed to do. The reason why I want to say that CIS is better is because CIS don't pay what we call CIT, and banks pay CIT. If I say CIT, I mean corporate income tax.
Corporate income tax.
Yes, corporate income, CIT. So you see, CIS, when you put your money into a CIS, they are like managers. You pull fund. After pulling this fund, you bring funds together. Then they use these funds to do what? To invest. And once they've invested, the return they get, they distribute to
the investors.
To the investors in investors or savers in a pro rata basis. In other words, in proportion to what you contributed to the fund. Now, the reason why these people are not paying, the reason why these institutions are not paying CIT, because this money is not theirs. So with them, they're just doing portfolio management. They're just managing the portfolio, and in return, they get what? Interest. So, how is government benefiting in this? The only way government will benefit, because of course, we have to pay taxes. The only way you will pay tax is through what we call withholding tax.
WHT.
Yes, withholding tax. They only pay withholding tax. So you will pay withholding tax on the actual interest that you've earned. And in the context of Kenya, it's 15%.
15%.
But when you save this money in a bank, then you are paying two taxes. You are going to pay withholding tax on the interest earned, and you are also going to pay CIT,
the
corporate income tax, because when this bank is working, at the end of the year, they have to pay that CIT. They have to pay that tax. So this tax they are paying from what? from the gain that they made
with your money.
With your money. So you see, so when you pay CIT, let's say for example, you put a money. Okay, we have CIT. We have a bank, and we have a CIS or unit trust. We can also call them unit trust. And you have a unit trust. So a bank invested 1 million in a particular project. Then unit trust also invested 1
million.
1 million. Both of them made a return of, let's say, 200. Let me say 10 million. Both of them invested 10 million. 10 million. This one also invested 10 million. Just let me wrap this.
Just write 10M.
So 10M. So 10M. 10M. Then return on investment. Yes. Let's say, for example, they made 20% return on investment. Or should I just put minimal?
Yeah. You use an average, even 1M.
Let's say 1M, that is 10%. And that is 10% return on investment. So let's say we have 1M. 1M. Yes. Both of them, they invested in the same security, so they have same return. This is a bank. So this bank will have to deduct tax from this. That is CIT. Okay?
Yes.
So CIT is usually 30% in Kenya. 30%.
So you're left with 700.
So they are left with
700K.
700K.
These guys have not paid anything yet, so they have their 100.
So these guys, they're still having this. They are not paying CIT. So net return is
1M.
1M. I mean 1M. So these ones, they have paid CIT, they are remaining with 700,000. This one, they have paid.
They have not paid.
They have not paid. They are exempted from CIT. So assume we are having how many investors?
7.
7 investors. So we are having 7 investors. So these 7 investors, we divide this by 7.
Or just to be neutral, because I'm looking at this one, put it 10.
Oh, we have 10 investors.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 10 investors. We have 10 investors. So here,
each investor is
getting a gross return of
100K.
100K. Okay. Now, this one, each investor is getting
70K.
70K. Okay. You understand this thing? Very nice. Now, this one again, after this one, we see we have only taken care of CIT. So we are still remaining withholding tax. Both of them are going to pay withholding tax,
which is 15%.
15%. Right? So this person is going to take home
85K.
85K. Okay. The person who invested
in a unit trust.
In a unit trust. This person is going to take home this 70K. Like again, we multiply with 0.85. Can you just do this to be accurate?
Do we have a calculator around?
Just use my phone.
Just a quick calculation.
So 0.85 times 70K.
Just a moment. Just a minute. 0.85 by 70. 1, 2, 3. 59,500.
59,500. 59,500. Okay. So this guy is bringing home 59.
This guy is bringing.
Guy is bringing back home 85. So do you understand the impact? So this is the thing that I've always tried to explain to many investors, and they don't understand.
Yeah, they see what is blinding majority is these two. You see, they feel it's safer, and then secondly, they feel at least I'm having an investment without checking what kind of return are you getting, because at least you should go for the best if you have to invest.
Let me tell them, I'm not being called a fee for nothing. Okay. So I want to tell that person who might get the opportunity of watching this particular video, and you want to know more of unit trust that you can work with when you are starting to build your capital base, when you want to save so that you can accumulate some lump sum to go and do something or meaningful project, you can reach out to me, and my number is 0743 660 912.
Please repeat.
0743 660 912. So you can reach out to me so that I can link you, or I can open for you I open for you. I will open for you a unit trust account so that you can start doing your savings, and I'll give you one of the best unit trust in Kenya. Actually, even the people from abroad can do the same, so it's good. So long as
even the people from diaspora,
even people from the diaspora, you can so long as you give me the requirements
discussion.
Yes, you can have that. Now I've explained why you should prioritize when you want to save as a low net worth. Please prioritize what?
Your return.
Prioritize unit trust or collective investment scheme, CIT, okay, or mutual funds. Prioritize them to
This is very evident.
To banking.
This is very because this is a difference of over what? Over 10.
Yes, it is, and it is true. By the way, not even 10. It is over 20.
You can do good
Because
stuff.
this is if it is
it's over 20.
It is over 20. This is 59. You are getting
So
59,000,
80, that's
and this
20.
is 85,000.
25 and
25
24, 500.
thousand.
Or 20, I don't know.
Thousand.
That's
This is
good money.
thousand. So please, and this information, in fact, these banks, they usually have financial advisor services. They will never tell you about
They'll
this.
never. Okay, of course they'll sell what they have.
Yes, you have to sell your product. Yeah, but I've given you the information for free.
There's a saying that an African saying that says that you see how bulls normally fight. So if the bulls are fighting, you only appraise, or you only praise your bull in as much as it's being beaten or it's being whatever.
Yes.
But you still die with it. And
Yes,
praise it
you
with it.
just try to you can justify how that defeat was not fair
Genuine.
at all. It was not genuine. It was rigged.
Yes.
Yes, it was rigged.
This is very ideal, and my people
So
can.
that's how we go about it. Now then we come to convenience and access. This is how we used to perceive banks, because these banking systems, you have things like mobile banking. You can just
Transact
withdraw. Nowadays it's not necessary you go to the bank to do the transactions.
Yeah, thanks to technology.
Yes, you
and
can.
people like us.
Yes, yes. Actually, I'm very happy.
Bravo to the techies.
I'm very happy for the technology. Technology are really simplified. Currently, they have really simplified what
The
task.
transaction
They have
and
really
all that.
simplified the task, and things are really they are flawless. Not flawless actually, but they are swift. Things are currently very swift. Yes, and actually, even now as we talk, when we upload this particular video, people will be able to view us globally. You understand?
Yes,
So that is the beauty of technology. We understand that, and we appreciate that. Another thing I want to talk about, I've talked about convenience, and I've said that this is then. Currently, even these other financial institutions, they are also convenient. You can do, they also having those banking systems, okay? They have this, not banking system, but they have this system that can allow you to access your money effortlessly and at comfort of your home. Then another one, we can say that there are a wide range of services. You see these banks, I want to explain this. Actually, if you want to know that these financial institutions, they are in competition. So when this CIS came up, the collective investment scheme, or the fund managers came up with this thing, they also decided
that they're going to provide the same service.
They are going, not providing the same service, registering another institutions called unit trust. So those unit trusts also, they are subsidiaries of those banks, but they are not paying CIT. You understand?
Yes.
So that they could make a fair playing, a fair competition. Okay. So they also introduced the things that the products that the things that the unit trust or the fund managers were really issuing the product. The likes of MMF, money market fund, fixed income fund, bond fund, fixed income fund, which can be, we can also call it bond fund, the likes of equity funds, the likes of dollar funds, those ones. So they also decided to come up with such products. But being that they understand the system, their units are still pinching people because they're usually trying to lower the
rate,
how to increase the profit margin.
Yes.
Okay, because when they pinch you, they're increasing the profit margin. Anytime a bank is giving savers high interest rate, then they're eating into their probable profit
margin.
You understand? The probable profit, or they are reducing their profit margin. So they try as much as possible to reduce
to increase the profit margin as much as they can.
They increase lending rate, but they reduce saving rate. So the difference is what from their
profit
basis. That is the basis of their business. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is the basis of their business model. They usually, even with this unit trust, they cannot compete with these people who are specializing in this.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've talked about low net worth individuals, and we've given them some of the solutions how they can take care of their funds, because there are people. I was really wanted to talk about the low net worth one, because there are the people who are really exploited with the system.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And there are so many.
Yeah.
So it means when all the money they contribute if all the money they contribute are brought together, they outpace the high net worth again.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But it's only that they are bringing these funds, but there are so many people who are bringing these funds. You understand? So when they are getting exploited, it means that the banks are benefiting them more.
Because there are many.
There are many.
So they
are many. They don't have information. So you understand? So they get exploited. That's why I wanted to give some information to them, so that at least they can be informed. So I think that's well covered. So just to summarize, we are saying that whenever you are saving with the bank, these are some of the challenges. We say that you are exposed to low interest rate, which might not outpace inflation rate. So we also say that we could talk about bank charges, and we say bank charges, we explain up here, where we've mentioned that when you leave your money in the current account, you are being charged.
Actually, there are even some banks that charge you for amount if whatever you have goes below a particular level.
Yes. So that reminds me that you need always to understand the dynamics of that particular account before you open it. Then also we've talked about inflation risk, and we said that inflation keep on changing. So sometimes when inflation reduces, then it is into your favor. It is favoring you. But when it increases, then
it is
disadvantage you, or it is not favorable to your side. Okay. Then withdrawal restrictions. There are certain bank accounts that you cannot withdraw below certain minimum. You understand? They usually ensure that you have to maintain certain level of amount within that. And why are they doing that? So that they can get something that they can deduct. They can apply the charges. They can apply these charges, because when you withdraw all of it, where will these charges be applied to? Okay. And when you withdraw all of it, then we say that bank, they close your account. Then when you want to come in again, they will tell you to reactivate with a fee. So you see how that system is very complicated. So you really need to understand, so that
you don't fall into the trap.
You don't fall into the trap, because actually it's a trap. So it's only information that will get you out of the trap. So that's why we circulated this time, so that we can at least give you this information.
Yes.
So please watch this, share the video, and also share the information.
And most importantly, let the information benefit you.
Yes. Yeah. So we say learn, implement, and grow. So nice. See you in the next episode.
Yes.
Yes.
See you soon.
Yeah.